Have you read the book Heaven is for Real?
I love that story. That is the story. That is the book that was the beginning of my book, because I read that. The question was, have you read the book Heaven is for Real? And for those of you who haven't read it, it's a book about a little boy who had surgery, and he has a vision where he sees heaven. And he saw, when he describes in this book what he sees in heaven, is the same thing that I saw. When I saw Jesus with the children sitting on his lap, and Jesus with the cut in his heart and his hands and his feet. He saw the same things that I saw. And it was my first experience with thinking, wow, somebody else has seen this. Because Richard and I started to try to tell other people this when it began 6 years ago. And everybody dismissed what I was telling them as unlikely illusions. Well, finally I'm getting the idea, well, other people have seen heaven too. Maybe I ought to share what I've seen. And that's exactly
I have that book.
Read that book. It's a beautiful it's a book about a little boy who was 3 years old who sees heaven when he's in surgery, and he doesn't even think anything about it, but he starts telling his parents a few years later about, I remember that hospital, that's where I saw Jesus, and his dad's a minister, and the minister's thinking, saw Jesus? And then later the little boy says, yeah, Dad, you were in this room, and Mom, you were in this room, and you were praying over here, and Mom, you were over there, and I remember being up above you, seeing you two doing that. And they're looking at each other going, that's exactly what happened. And he tells them more stories too. He also meets a sister too. He didn't know that was miscarriage from the mom and the dad. He learns about that family member too, and about a grandpa who had passed on too that they didn't talk about. And so the story, because the story was so close, that I thought, well, I have a whole bunch of stories to share, so I'm going to write a book too. And that was the reason that was a catalyst, actually. I love that book. Heaven is for Real. Okay. So the first person who wins the book is Doris. Doris, where are you? Oh, well, see? How about that, Doris? We all hear that little voice in our head. Sometimes we think of it as a sixth sense or a conscience or somebody saying, I don't know who it is, because I never used to know who it was, but somebody inside my head would say, don't eat that plate of brownies or you're going to gain 5 pounds. Or if you eat that right there, you're going to get a stomach ache, right? That's your loved one telling you something that you know. You know something knows you to tell you something like that. Okay. This one goes to Jean H. Jean, okay. Margot? M-A-R-G-O-T?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
sorry.
that works. Here you go, Margot. Myrtle? Myrtle? Okay. M-Y-R-T-L-E? Okay. Oh. Sorry. Yes, if you all could read, Myrtle? If you all read that book, Heaven is for Real, it's a beautiful book. Charlotte. Charlotte B? Okay. Charlotte B. Okay. C-H-A-R-L-O-T-T-E. And then we're also going to leave one for your library as well. Any other questions or? Well, we're gonna be across the street if you think of anything, for those of you who wanna look up my web address, it's in the book. Send me a letter, I answer them all. I'd love to hear your stories. The next book I write is gonna be the stories that I've heard. I've heard some beautiful angel stories, some beautiful sharing, so. God bless you all.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye. You have a beautiful